This is your News Source Evening Bulletin for today, Wednesday, the 21st day of April in the year 2021. I'm Gordon Mosley. Here's what we're tracking tonight. With the Finance Minister calling in the Auditor General's office to probe the allegations of a fuel purchase scam at a state-owned Guyana oil company, the fuel import company that triggered the probe has now written to Guyana, demanding that the company comes clean on the agreement between the two within the next 48 hours. In a letter to the Guyana chairman from the law offices of Dexter Todd, which is representing the fuel import company Royalty Enterprises, the company is threatening legal action over the agreement since it has already imported the fuel that was reportedly requested. The company has named the director on the board of Guyana and the senior financial officer of the company as the two persons who reached a verbal agreement with the company concerning a soft corporate offer for heavy fuel to be shipped to Guyana on or before the 17th of April. The company has also revealed that there was an exchange of emails between its marketing director and the former Guyana general manager Trevor Ben concerning the uplifting of the fuel, which has already arrived in the country. Ben has since resigned as the general manager of Guyana and has denied any wrongdoing, while claiming that there are attempts to stain his character. The fuel import company's position is that Guyana has failed to honor the agreement that was put in place for the supply and delivery of fuel, and the company has now found itself incurring additional expenses. But speaking to News Source yesterday, Guyana Chairman Paul Chang said there are strict procedures for the company's fuel purchasing agreements, and there are no existing agreements with the company that has been making the claims. Mr. Chang said the issues raised by the import company are important, and that was one of the reasons behind Guyana launching a probe of its own into the allegations. As the probe started, the recently appointed general manager resigned, triggering a meeting between the minister responsible for finance and the board. The finance ministry has oversight for the state-owned oil company. In a statement last evening, Finance Minister Dr. Ashani Singh announced his decision to call in the Auditor General's office to probe the fuel importation scandal and the claims made by the fuel import company. Minister Singh emphasized the need for the company to act in compliance with the established laws and procedures in line with good governance, accountability, and transparency. During his meeting with the board, he reminded the board that it is appointed to protect the interests of the people of Guyana and the government of Guyana, and it is what he expects of all state entities. The government, he said, will not tolerate any type of unlawful practices. A subcommittee of the board has since been established to overlook the day-to-day operations at Guyana. More news coming up in just a moment.
Guyana, we've been through it all.
But as a people we have
weathered every storm
and risen to every challenge.
Because it is the people of Guyana
that gives it its strength.
All the people,
regardless of race,
class, or religion.
We are one people, one strength.
And now is our time. A time to rise. Together, we rise.
At Sosh Financial, we create strategies for strengthening business and personal finances while helping our clients to build sustainable wealth. Our financial and business consultancy services are uniquely tailored to ensure every client receives quality packages and optimal results. Our financial services include financial reporting and analysis, financial status assessment, internal audits, bookkeeping and records management, financial planning advice, tax returns. Our business advisory services are related to business plans, business startups, operational improvement, business management, document preparation, procedures development, efficient marketing. Call or WhatsApp us today for your free consultation on telephone number 592-665-6045. Sosh Financial, strengthening businesses, building wealth.
You taste the cheese, you hear the crunch. Grab a zoomers and zoom into fun. And with the first taste, you feel like you don't want it done. Blast off to a whole new place with every single bite. The cheesy goodness bring your taste buds alive. So let's just zoom into fun with this wheel-shaped light. Zoomers, zoomers, zoom into fun.
University students, do you know who is seeing what you share online? Prospective employers, recruiters, and graduate schools often screen potential candidates before hiring or approving applications. Sharing inappropriate images or posts and using obscene language online can cost you dearly. Avoid paying the price. 1. Set your account to private. 2. Think twice before you share a post. 3. Get permission before posting details about others. Remember, what goes online stays online. Stop oversharing and get safe online.
We are legions of men standing strong, but never too proud to stoop and help someone. We must send a clear signal to all. Do right, walk in upright ways, knowing that's what being a man is all about. And ever aware that things will only get worse when good men do nothing. Stand strong, be the one to live right.
Mom, what are you doing with GPL on your list?
Child, you forgot I have to pay GPL?
You got time with GPL?
I have to keep these lights on. The customers who think in that manner and refuse to honor their obligation to GPL are obviously not playing their part in ensuring quality service delivery. So, I will continue to pay my GPL bill on time, every time.
I recognize the value of your point, Mom. You were right.
Welcome back. The former Commissioner and Chief Executive Officer of the Guyana Lands and Surveys Commission, Trevor Ben, was back at the Georgetown Magistrates Court today, where he was charged with an additional count of misconduct in public office. The new charge is related to the sale of land on Mandela Avenue and Aubrey Barker Road in South Ruimville by the Lands and Surveys Commission while Ben headed the body. Mr. Ben is accused of selling the land below market value. In brief comments after his court appearance, Ben explained to News Source that the land was sold for $30.5 million, but that cost was given after an evaluation was done by the Chief Evaluation Officer. He's contending that the charges which continue to be laid against him are trumped up and now amount to harassment.
Well, it continues to be my view that as a black man, successful Commission of Lands and Surveys, the first Lands and Surveys Commissioner to successfully turn the body around, is being vilified. And that's all I can say.
And the former Lands Commissioner said he's not surprised that he continues to face charges for carrying out his duties.
And whatever case he plans to bring to me, he has already made up his mind about what should happen to me. And before him was the Vice President. They were on television constantly abusing me on television, and they were signaling exactly what they were going to do to me. So this is not a surprise. I prepared for this. I know this was coming.
Mr. Ben also said he is prepared to challenge any and all allegations which will likely continue to be made against him, pointing out that he is not fearful of the attempts to discredit his character.
In fact, this morning we came here and the officer from the CID did not have a statement in the file. Did not have a statement in the file. They were not ready for the case, and yet they brought me here this morning. So this speaks to exactly what's going on here. And I'm quite ready. I have competent lawyers, and I know that I will be vindicated at the end of this process.
The former Lands Commissioner is confident that he will be vindicated. Last month, another misconduct in public office charge was filed against him over the leasing of land to an engineering company on the east coast of Demerara. As the Special Organized Crime Unit of the Guyana Police Force continues to investigate several allegations of fraud within the Guyana Police Force, 3 senior police officers were slapped with fraud charges today. One of the officers is already facing fraud charges in the court. Police Finance Officer, Woman Senior Superintendent Marceline Washington, former Deputy Finance Officer, Deputy Superintendent Frank Jackman Wilberg, and former Deputy Commander of Division 4B, Woman Superintendent Lorraine Saul, have been charged jointly on 2 counts of fraud. The charges relate to allegations of a conspiracy to commit a felony and the falsification of accounts by an officer. The prosecution's case is that between the 2nd of November and the 3rd of December last year, the 3 officers allegedly conspired with each other and other persons in the force to falsify the force's feeding account to the tune of $2.2 million for meals provided to the Felix Austin Training College. It is also alleged that the 3 senior officers also conspired among themselves to falsify meal accounts totaling $1.4 million for ranks on duty at the fixed point and at the suicide helpline department. It was disclosed that Washington and Wilberg allegedly colluded with Saul to defraud the police force by authorizing the payment when no such duty existed and meals were not distributed to ranks as stated in the account. Only one of the officers was in court for the hearing today and was granted bail in the sum of $150,000. The matter will continue later this month. On the police blotter, while reporting a 29.8% decrease in serious crimes for the year when compared to the same period last year, the Guyana Police Force today stated that it plans to tackle the spate of robberies being conducted by motorcycle riding robbers. A number of the robberies have been caught on camera, but it's unclear how many of the suspects have been held and charged. In a statement from its headquarters, the police force said that recognizing that criminal-minded persons have been riding motorcycles and bicycles in their robbery attacks on citizens, extensive campaigns are ongoing in the police divisions to rein in and detain suspects in that form of criminality. The force has already confiscated a number of motorcycles suspected to have been used in crimes. Lawful ownership is now being determined as part of the investigations. Tapping itself on the shoulder, the police force stated that its constant operational activities have led to a 38.4% decrease in armed robberies where firearms were used by the perpetrators and the 47.7% decrease in armed robberies where other instruments were used. There has been a 22.9% decrease in murders when compared to the same period last year, according to the police force. So far for this year, a total of 37 murder cases have been recorded. The police force has also reported that countrywide operations by its narcotics department have resulted in more than 111 kilograms of marijuana and 267 grams of cocaine being seized. A number of persons are before the courts on those busts. The force said while it continues its crime-fighting efforts, it still wants members of the public to remain security conscious and to stop moving around with large sums of money while avoiding routines in their movements. While the Director of Public Prosecutions, Senior Counsel Shalimar Alihak, is not taking kindly to statements on a social media blog that accuses her chambers of taking political instructions. The rare statement from the DPP was in direct response to a social media post that accused her of being forced by the government to institute bogus charges against a senior police officer in the Guyana Police Force. In response, the DPP's chamber said it views the statement as mischievous, a blatant lie, and untruthful. In relation to recent fraud charges filed against senior police officers, the DPP said all of the advice on the charges was based on evidence. She said her office remains an independent, constitutional one that is guided by the Constitution of Guyana. The DPP said her office will not be intimidated by efforts to discredit its work, roles, and functions. According to the Director of Public Prosecutions, her office can boast of a professional approach to all cases. Turning now to the agriculture sector. Days after sugar workers at the Albion, Blairmont, and Iflot estates picketed the Guyana Sugar Corporation over stalled talks between the company and the workers' union, Guysuco's Chief Executive Officer Saish Narayan Singh is making it clear that the company is doing its best, but is still faced with challenges. In a video recording released by the company's public communications department, the CEO said as it is already, more than 100% of Guysuco's earnings is going towards the payment of wages and salaries.
What I'm seeing is that there is a disconnect, that 102% of our revenue is spent on wages and salaries, and on top of that you have the audacity to tell us that we're not trying our best. Where are we going to get more frown. I am calling on all the stakeholders. Please, let's work in a collaborative manner. Let's rebuild this institution brick by brick.
The sugar workers through the Guyana Agricultural and General Workers Union have been pressing Gaisuco to return to the negotiation table to continue discussions on the increase in wages and salaries for the past 2 years. GAWU has accused Gaisuco of being silent on the matter while failing to honor previous commitments to meet and engage with the union on the pressing issue. In the video released today, the Gaisuco chief executive said the sugar company wants to work along with all stakeholders to rebuild the sugar sector, but he will not do so in the media.
I cannot negotiate in the media, and I will not negotiate in the media. And whoever wants to negotiate in the media, I say to them, go ahead. Go ahead and expose your foolishness. What I'm saying is the fundamental principle remains. We're committed to the workers. We will do everything within our power to make something happen. But we got to understand the government of Guyana has given $9 billion between September last year to December this year to recapitalize that industry. That kind of cash was never on the table.
The CEO said in the past 6 months the government has injected more than $9 billion for the recapitalization of Gaisuco, and that process is still ongoing. He dismissed accusations of the company hiring a top-heavy management, pointing out that most of the persons in the management team were not changed. The Guyana Agricultural and General Workers Union has urged Gaisuco to return to the negotiating table with a view to having the outstanding matters settled. The protesting workers have complained that while they are not unmindful of the corporation's situation, it appears that Gaisuco is neglectful of their plight. The workers said they are prepared to listen to any reasonable proposal from the sugar company, but noted that all they have been hearing is a deafening silence. The Exxon Mobil company announced this evening that it has ramped up production to between 100,000 to 110,000 barrels of oil per day, even as it continues to address the problem with a damaged compressor on the Liza Destiny oil production vessel. According to the company, the current production levels were defined after careful consideration of safety, environmental, technical, and economic factors, as well as discussions with the relevant government agencies on the best path forward while repairs and upgrades are ongoing. Last week, the company announced that it was forced to reduce oil production to just 30,000 barrels of oil per day, after more problems were noticed with a reinstalled compressor system that was recently repaired. With the ongoing problem, Exxon is continuing its flaring of gas, but has indicated that it is moving to have additional repairs done to the damaged compressor, and that could take an additional 3 months. Exxon has said it remains extremely disappointed by the ongoing technical challenges, but is also proud of the team offshore that continues to work safely and manage operations efficiently during the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. 2 Georgetown men were arrested on Tuesday afternoon on drug trafficking allegations during a canoe operation in the city. A statement from the Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit last evening stated that Kanu ranks had several targets on the surveillance, including a Nissan Juke motor car bearing registration number PVV6706. Kanu said as its ranks closed in on the vehicle, the driver sped away from the scene, with Kanu chasing after the vehicle. The vehicle was intercepted at the corner of Landscape Street and Vlissingen Road in Queenstown. According to Kanu, during the chase, a suspected brick of cocaine was thrown from the vehicle. The cocaine was retrieved by Kanu ranks. In the vehicle, Kanu found the driver, Daquan Wills, and the lone passenger, Joel Fangafat. Both were arrested and Kanu agents were led to a Stone Avenue Campbellville yard, where the agents discovered another brick of cocaine and a bag containing bulk packages of marijuana. In total, Kanu agents found just over 4 pounds of cocaine and more than 37 pounds of marijuana. A full investigation is underway as the 2 suspects remain in custody. A minibus driver from Sophia was arrested and taken into custody yesterday after he chased a police officer with a cutlass during a traffic stop in the city. In a statement last evening, the Guyana Police Force stated that a police constable was on a motorcycle patrol along Homestretch Avenue when he noticed the minibus bearing license plate number BZZ3029 overtaking a line of more than 15 vehicles. According to the police, the driver was stopped and told of the offense of dangerous driving and asked to produce his driver's license. The minibus driver drove off from the scene, but a traffic rank caught up with him on Sheriff Street, where he managed to stop the driver again. As seen on a video recording of the incident, the driver got out of the vehicle, went to the left passenger side and returned with a cutlass and started the chase after the policeman. The police constable ran and the driver got back into his bus and drove to his Sophia residence, where he was later arrested and taken to the Brigdam police station. He's expected to face several charges.
It's trendy to share your vacation plans, photos, and location on social media, but do you know who is seeing your posts? Sharing that you're on vacation or a business can signal to potential burglars that your home is empty. Using location services can also allow people to track your whereabouts, making you an easy target for theft. Be aware of what information you share about your location and your possessions. Remember, what goes online stays online. Stop oversharing and get safe online.
I took the vaccine. My name is Gordon Mosley and I took the vaccine on Friday. And I'm encouraging you, if you've made the choice, go take the vaccine. Protect yourself against COVID-19. COVID-19 is no joke. I've been covering the story from day one and it scares me and it should scare you too. So there are vaccination sites all around. Go to the Ministry of Health's Facebook page, follow the information, keep your mask on and go take the vaccine. You'll be happy you did. Across the region tonight, the government of Trinidad and Tobago has announced new COVID-19 public health restrictions. At a press conference today, the Minister of Health, Terence Dial-Singh, in Trinidad, said he and other government officials met virtually with the Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Rowley. He said he had been authorized to put new restrictions in place by the Prime Minister. The measures that will go into effect at midnight tonight and continue until the 16th of May includes no public gatherings for entertainment and concert. The public service will revert to 50% capacity on a rotational basis, and places of worship will be reduced from 50% capacity to 25% capacity. Services will remain at 90 minutes. Weddings and funerals will be limited to 10 persons. Meanwhile, the newly appointed Minister of National Security, Fitzgerald Hines, warned citizens who do not abide by the newly announced COVID-19 regulations in Trinidad that they will feel it in their pockets. He said he will be meeting with the Police Commissioner Gary Griffith to ensure special teams of police officers are deployed across Trinidad to ensure COVID-19 regulations are enforced. The United Nations World Food Programme has reached a deal with the government of Nicolas Maduro in Venezuela to provide food to the country's school children. Child malnutrition has been on the rise as Venezuela's once prosperous economy has gone into freefall and health services have collapsed. More than 5.3 million Venezuelans have fled their home country amid the crisis. The World Food Programme aims to reach 185,000 school children by the end of this year. A study by the World Food Programme published in 2020 suggested that 1 in 3 Venezuelans was not able to put enough food on the table to meet minimum nutrition requirements and was in need of assistance. The study says that Venezuelans' lack of dietary diversity was of major concern, with many families not getting enough meat, fish, eggs, vegetables, and even fruits. And finally tonight, international news. The main opposition parties in Chad say the army's appointment of President Idriss Déby's son as the nation's new leader is an institutional coup. 68-year-old Déby, who had been in power for 3 decades, died after being shot as he battled rebels on the front line. The rebels too have objected to the move, saying Chad is not a monarchy. Muhammad Idriss Déby Itno, also known as General Kaka, was in charge of the Presidential Guard and is to lead the country for 18 months until elections. The government and parliament have been dissolved, but constitutional experts say the Speaker of the Parliament should have taken over when the sitting president died before organizing elections. The president's death was announced on state TV yesterday. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting. Stay safe.